at 7:34 p.m. First, we'll have our regular meeting, then we will adjourn from that and go on back to our budget session. Clerk, please take the roll.
Okay, Representative Adams.
Here.
Bailey.
Here.
Baker.
Here.
Burrell.
Here.
Bauer.
Here.
Burgos.
Here.
Casper.
Here.
Sini.
Here.
Connolly.
Here.
Dean Shinbrot.
Here.
D'Amato. Evans. Frickman.
Here.
Garcia.
Here.
Gilly.
Here.
Crockett Hubbard. Longino. Laughlin.
Here.
Marley. Massett. McCabe.
Here.
McDermott.
Here.
Merritt.
Here.
Nault.
Here.
Nugent.
Here.
Aubry.
Here.
Parker.
Here.
Pasqualini.
Here.
Quinn.
Here.
Sleeker Hersant.
Here.
Steinford.
Here.
Irma Streeter.
Here.
Jim Streeter.
Here.
Swindell. Wagner. Watrous.
Here.
Wells.
Here.
Williams. Wilson.
Here.
And Newsom. 33 at roll. 33.
Thirty-three members present. I declare a quorum. Will you all please stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item is approval of the April 13th, 2016 meeting minutes. Is there a motion? Motion's been moved and seconded to approve the April 13th, 2016 RTM meeting minutes. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote on the meeting minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Wilson.
Representative Wilson. Any other abstentions? Representative Wilson. Evans and Wolf.
Evans.
Abstained.
Abstained.
That passes 3102. Next portion of the meeting is citizens' petitions. Thank you. This is the portion of the RTM agenda where the RTM welcomes comments from citizens. Each presentation should be limited to 10 minutes or less, and citizens should, if possible, submit written comments. Presentation should be limited to matters pertinent to Groton. The moderator or members through the moderator shall ask questions only in order to clarify the speaker's presentation. Responses may be given by the moderator and/or by the town manager. Citizens should make their presentation from the lectern and state their name and address for the record. Do we have anybody signed up for citizen petitions?
Yeah, we do. Sorry.
And while we're picking up the list, I would just remind everybody that everybody in this room, the public, the RTM, town staff, et cetera, are bound by the rules of decorum and debate, and remind them to keep their remarks in the debate on the pending motion or whatever's the focus at hand, but also to make sure that their remarks are courteous and no personal affronts, no accusations, or questioning other people's motives. Robert Martin.
Hi, good evening. My name is Robert Martin, Bob Martin. I live at 23 Pegasus Drive here in the town. This is hard work, and I recognize that, and I suspect most citizens do. And at the beginning of this process, weeks, a month ago, I asked you to hold the line and keep reducing the proposed tax increase. This year, you're talking about doing without things. However, you just got to watch the news or pick up the Current, and you see that they're laying off in Hartford. And as the revenue streams continue to dry up, I suspect that next year we might be back here talking about layoffs. And certainly the dynamics of what takes place here is going to change dramatically if you're talking about reducing or eliminating people's jobs. So I continue to ask you to do the good faith work you do, and good luck with it, but I would like you to try to reduce the tax increase. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there anybody else that wishes to speak? Seeing none, we will move on to reception of communications. Representatives Hubbard, Massett, Swindell, Adams, and D'Amato all said they would not be here tonight. I also have,
No, Adams is here.
Hubbard, Massett, Swindell, Williams, Williams, and D'Amato. I know you're there, sorry. It's getting late and it's only 7:30. Representative Laughlin?
Scott, could you please get closer to that microphone? I'm struggling.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Is that a little bit better? Okay. So I have a memo here from Director of Planning and Development, dated April 18th. The Planning Commission has scheduled a public hearing to receive comments regarding the draft 2016 Plan of Conservation and Development for June 29th, 2016, 6:30 p.m. in Community Room 1 at Town Hall Annex, 134 Groton Long Point Road. Yeah, so if you want to attend that, it's a public hearing. And if you want to submit comments to Director Reiner, he said that that's also acceptable. So anybody that wants to attend that meeting, should be a good one. And I think let's see. So we have another referral for more fourth quarter transfers. It's referral 2016-0105, resolution for FYE 2016 fourth quarter transfers. Transfers necessary represent unforeseen or unexpected expenditures at the time the budget was adopted for approximately $212,000. About $197,000 for legal services, $15,000 for insurance and claims. This is going to be referred to the RTM Finance Committee. And that's all I have for communications. Report of the town manager.
Yes, thank you. Hopefully all of you have had a chance to pick up a copy of the newsletter off to the side. In the interest of time, I'm just going to highlight a number of items. Financial statement, fund balance as of April 30th, 2016 is approximately $9.1 million, which is equivalent to 7.3% of the current year general fund adopted budget. Contingency was appropriated this year at $550,000, and you do have an item on your agenda tonight in the amount of $337,296 for wage adjustments for 2 of our union groups, and as the moderator just noted, we anticipate that you will have for your next meeting fourth quarter transfers in the amount of $212,000. Basically, essentially zeroing out that account if both of those requests are approved. And the capital reserve fund balance as of April 30th was $409,000. A couple items I just want to highlight. We have started work on the LED streetlight conversion project. The first task that's going to be undertaken is an audit of our streetlights in the CL&P franchise area. We've also are working with Groton Utilities, and they may be actually using the same vendor we are to evaluate not only their lights within the city of Groton, but also the lights that they provide in the eastern or western part of the community, basically from Route 117 over to the Thames River. As a result of that audit, we then will be developing further price estimates for the actual installation of LED lights. It's estimated at this point that for the town lights, the lights that we own, we could be looking at a $60,000 a year savings once we convert over. So more to come on that. We also, I'm very proud to announce or to let you know that we have received another outstanding service award from the Connecticut Library Association, this time for an outstanding volunteer, Terry Ziegler, who was received the award a couple weeks ago up in Hartford. As some of you may recall, this is the third outstanding award that we have received in the last couple of years. First one was for the outstanding library in the state of Connecticut. And then after that, Betty Ann Ryder received the Outstanding Librarian Award throughout the state, and then now with Terry's award. I think that's something we should be very proud of. I do want to call your attention to attachment 1. I would ask that you, when you have some time, take a look at it. This is, I think this is maybe the 4th or 5th year. This is the auditor's communication to those charged with governance. So this goes to both the RTM and the town council. Our auditor is Blum Shapiro, and as I said, I think this is the 4th year or so that they've provided us with such a letter. I would really encourage you all. It's not an audit, it's just letting you be aware of your roles and responsibilities and maybe duties to some extent, that if you suspect something is wrong, to get a hold of them. So I would really encourage you to take a look at this when you have a chance. Hasn't changed much from last year, except I can't remember what I did yesterday, let alone what I read a year ago. For those of you who like to get outside and get a little exercise, the Connecticut Trails Day this year is on Saturday, June 4th, and the Groton event is going to be a hike of the COP property. It will be a guided hike, so there'll be somebody leading the charge out there that will take you throughout the property, so no chance of getting lost. And hopefully it will be a great day. We've done a couple of these over the last couple of years. They've been very successful activities, and so hopefully some of you can join that. Just a couple other things. I'm on other attachments. A notice from Public Works that they, back on the 25th of April, began the repaving of East Shore Avenue down in Groton Long Point. That project actually at this point is almost complete. This is the second road that we've done down in Groton Long Point in the last 2 years. Bill Memorial Library, who representatives were here the other day, and they did talk about all the fundraising activities, which some of you made note of, does have a fundraising activity coming up in a couple of weeks on Saturday, May 21st from 7 to 9 p.m. The Cartel, there's a flyer, the Cartels will be playing at the library, and it's $30 per person or $50 per couple. 4th of July parade is coming up. You know, it seems like a long distance away, but it isn't. There have been years that some representatives have decided to walk or to ride. So if that's something the RTM would like to do, you should get a hold of Jerry Locken in Parks and Rec and let him know approximately how many of you would plan on attending and participating in this year's 4th of July parade. And then lastly, there is a flyer. We have another farmers market in town. This is known as the Groton City Farmers Market, which will be held over at Washington Park from July through October on Tuesdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. So that's in addition to the farmers market that's out in front of the post office during the summer. And that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Are there any questions for the town manager? All right, we'll move on. Is there anybody from the Board of Ed that'd like to speak tonight? No? All right. Liaison reports. Do we have any liaison reports? Seeing none. We'll move on to committee reports. Finance Committee.
Sure you don't want to do it? The Finance Committee met tonight. I was the chairperson. We opened our meeting at 6:35. Representative Nault, Pascalini, and Gilly were present. Chairperson Quinn also arrived a little later. That's why I was nominated as the person who had pen and paper to be the chairperson. Also present was Cindy Landry and Mark Offinger. Motion was made by myself for $337,296, second by Pascalini. We did have several questions about the contracts that came up. Cindy Landry informed us that in the 2016 budget that we knew there were contracts in negotiation and funds were set aside in contingency, knowing that these contracts would be settled for past due wages. There was a question about how much savings was in the contracts, and Mark Offinger informed that the focus was on health insurance costs and to avoid the Cadillac tax. The police contract goes back 2 years. They evaluated pay and positions of the town as they compared to other towns. Our town was falling behind and was not attracting candidates, so the pays were increased. The other contract was CILU, which is various employees from different departments. And the focus on that was the health insurance and the Cadillac tax. The town has looked into the state health insurance plan. Mark Offinger informed us that he had received mixed reviews as to the cost and control. They have reevaluated the state health insurance plan several times, and they're not seeing substantial savings at this point, but they will continue to reevaluate that plan. The health insurance costs in the town did go down about 10%. Some of this was due to the contract negotiations. Some was due to eliminating caps on copays. So that means if folks have copays, they have to pay all their copays instead of something like paying up until a certain dollar amount and then not being responsible anymore. There was several questions about pensions, and there were discussions looking at the 457 plan, which is similar to a 401k plan. 457 is for municipalities, whereas 401k is for private sector people. Having these for new employees, that this was discussed with council, and there would be possibly some more costs in the short term, as there would be 2 programs being funded, but it could be beneficial. There is currently a 457 plan for non-union folks in the town of Groton. Retirement plans are part of a separate contract in negotiations. Mark Offinger stated that the retirement fund is funded with discipline and in good shape. And about the 457 plans, that it's very similar to the 401ks, which is discussed again. The town contributes a percentage, and the employee can participate and match that percentage or give more. There was also questions about wages being subject to retirement. In all of our contracts, wages are defined, overtime is defined, and there's a cap on how much of wages goes towards retirement. The vote was taken. It passed unanimously 4-0-0. We adjourned at 6:42. I move acceptance of the minutes.
Motion for acceptance of the Finance Committee meeting minutes has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we will vote on approval of the meeting minutes. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously, 34-0-0.
Did you want me to read up starting at the... I always forget.
What's that? Yes, please read it.
Starting at the all caps?
Yeah, just down to resolved.
Okay. No, I get to start at result?
No, you
No,
started the...
stop at resolved.
Okay.
Do the title and then the result.
Where,
And the title.
2016-0069, FYE 2016 contingency transfer wage adjustments. Resolution for FYE 2016 general contingency transfers. Whereas the town charter provides for the general contingency transfers during the year, and whereas during FYE 2016 budget deliberations, labor agreements for the CILU telecommunications and ASME supervisor employees have settled, and those wage increases include in the department's FYE 2016 budget, and whereas during FYE 2016 budget deliberations, labor agreements, pay plans were not known and were not included in the department's budget for the remaining employee groups, CILU clerical, United Steelworkers, Parks, Public Works, Police, and non-union, and whereas wage increases for 2 of those programs, CILU, clerical, and police, are now known and should be incorporated into department's FYE 2016 budget through a general contingency transfer. And whereas during budget deliberations, additional funds were added to the general contingency in anticipation of wage adjustments occurring during the fiscal year for a total contingency appropriation of $550,000. And whereas before this transfer is applied, the general contingency has a balance of $550,000. Now, therefore, be it resolved that $337,296 be transferred from the general fund contingency function number 1074 to the following general fund departments functions and be referred to the RTM for approval. Voter registration, 1003, $975. Town clerk, 1005, $4,169. Information technology, 1011, $8,427. Finance, 1013, $18,867. Public safety, 1024, $224,266. Public works, 1035, $13,228. OPDS, 1046, $15,417. Human services, 1051, $11,814. Library, 1063, $26,240. Park and Recreation, 1064, $13,893. I therefore move $337,296. Is there a second?
Motion has been made and seconded for $337,296 for this fourth quarter transfer. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll vote. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. 34-0-0. Community Development, Chairman Conley.
No community report.
Education, Chairman Nugent.
No meeting, no report.
Recreation, Chairman Wilson.
Other than budget, no meeting, no report.
Public Safety, Chairman McDermott.
No meeting, no report.
Public Works, Chairman Dean Shimbrough.
No meeting, no report.
Rules and Procedures, anybody from Chairman Massett's not here tonight?
No meeting, no report.
Thank you very much. All right. We're on to item J, budget discussions. If anybody wishes to say anything right now, I'm sure we'll get a lot of that later. Representative Nugent.
Thanks, Mr. Moderator. Just a question. Since we've been running behind, has it been determined whether we're going to use one of those reserve nights, or going to see how it goes?
I wanted to see how things go tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll have some discussions about having an additional meeting potentially. So nothing has been decided yet.
Okay, thank you.
But we are behind. So the question is whether or not we can make up some time next week or tack it on to the end, and we'll talk about that.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other budget discussions? Any other business? Very good. Then we're finished with our official meeting. Do I hear a motion, Representative Wilson? Motion's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Unanimous. We're adjourned. All right. Does the body want to take a 5-minute recess for a second before we start into the budget discussion?
I'd love to have
All right.
a restaurant.
5 minutes. Recess.